Alrighty, hey guys, Stan the Man here. Today we're going to be doing our first AEW Dynamite review. Now, if you haven't checked out my other review, it is of Monday Night Raw this week. Go ahead and check that out. I just figured I might as well start. I want to start uploading more often, and I figured what way would be better than doing these reviews. So, yeah, without any further ado, let's get right into AEW March 22nd edition of 2023. Alrighty, so we get on the air and there is an ambulance. And it is reported that Matt and Nick Jackson of the Young Bucks were attacked. And Hangman Adam Page was standing by the ambulance saying he wanted to go with them. And he did. And then there was Kenny Omega just looking sad as the ambulance was driving away, since he had a really big match that night, and that they're just his best friends. So we start off with the first match of the night, which was great. We have Orange Cassidy, Darby Allin, and Sting making his 2023 return. They took on Butcher and the Blade and Kip Sabian. Overall, I thought this was a great match kickoff. I'm honestly loving that they have trios tag team championships in AEW. It's really enjoyable. It's something different, and the matches are just amazing. Sting looked really good. I was worried maybe he was going to be out of touch, but I mean, he was taking big bumps, delivering big moves. Orange Cassidy jumping out of the ring. And then there was one part in the match where the Butcher and Darby Allin were going at it. And Butcher did like a modified lion tamer, like Chris Jericho does. And oh my god, he had Darby Allin's feet on his shoulders. Like, it was insane, really cool. But in the end, Sting hit the Scorpion Death Drop and won the match. It was a really good way to start the show. I really enjoyed it. So I gave it a 3-star. Right after this, we got back from commercial, and it was said that Brandon Cutler stated that he believes the Blackpool Combat Club attacked the Young Bucks. So then we get into our next match. We have the Gunn Brothers defending their tag team championships against Top Flight. Overall, this was a really good match. I love Top Flight. They just fly and do flips like it's nothing. It was really good, very entertaining match. In the end, though, the Guns ended up winning and retaining their tag titles. Overall, it was a good match. It wasn't super lengthy, though, so I gave it 2.5 stars. I mean, it wasn't awful, but it wasn't the best. But what was more crazy is afterwards, FTR came out and challenged the Guns for the title. Austin Gunn kept screaming in their face, like, no matter what, we're not giving you a title shot. Revival's like, well, how about we won't be a tag team anymore? No. How about we won't compete for the titles anymore? No. How about if we compete for the titles, we need to quit AEW? That lit off a light bulb over Austin's head, and he said, alright, if you lose, you're going to be out then. And that's what it ended up being. I don't know, it's weird because the Guns just won the titles, so I can't see them losing early. But I also don't see FTR not being in AEW either, so we'll have to see how that goes. Alright, the next match we have Stokely Hathaway versus Hook in a no disqualification match. It was funny, Stokely said that he had a doctor's note saying he couldn't compete, and I think it was like a Wingstop receipt or something. So the match started. Stokely Hathaway ran in the crowd. Hook got him. He pretty much dominated the whole match. In the end, it was really cool. Hook put a guardrail in the corner of the ring, and he suplexed Hathaway right on it. Then he teased the pinfall, which is cool because, Hook doesn't have a pinfall victory. And then he put him in the hooking finisher, the chokehold or whatever, and beat him there. Now, I gave this 2 stars. It wasn't that the match was awfully horrible. I think the match was just like 3 or 4 minutes, and it was kind of one-sided. I mean, it was entertaining to watch somebody get their ass kicked in a no disqualification match, but yeah, that's why I gave it 2 stars. I enjoyed it, but it just wasn't very long and competitive. All right, next we have Adam Cole coming down to cut a promo in the ring. He pretty much got in, said, "Wow, we made it a while. My debut match is going to be next week, but against who?" So next, Daniel Garcia comes out, kind of talks shit about Adam Cole. He's like, "You're saying you need respect. I should be the one respected, since I've been in the most main events this whole past year while you've been gone out of the ring." And, Adam Cole says, "Yeah, I have been very impressed with you, but your attitude is wrong. Basically, you just been up Jericho's ass the whole time." And he ends up challenging Daniel Garcia because, he's pretty much saying, "Adam Cole, you're nothing. You think you're going to beat me. You can't beat me." Stuff like that, just saying he's better. It was really cool. I mean, I know me just explaining it doesn't sound as good, but I suggest you rewatch it back. It was a really good promo. So, yeah. Next match we move on to is Jon Moxley and Stu Grayson. Now, the funny part is the whole Blackpool Combat Club came out and everybody was cheering them, even though it was speculated that they attacked the Young Bucks. But, Jon Moxley went against Stu Grayson. Overall, it was a really good match. Moxley flipped off the camera like 3 times. I mean, it was really good. There was the one time where the what's it called? The Dark Order and the Blackpool Combat Club were fighting each other. And then I forgot, it was pretty much like the Paradigm Shift. Moxley did it off the top rope or whatever. That was really awesome. It was a competitive match, so I ended up giving it 3 star. And, also after that, the Dark Order jumped in the ring because Blackpool Combat Club has been beating the shit out of their opponents after the bell. So that was pretty cool. It was a pretty good match, so yeah. All right, next match we have is Tony Storm going against Sky Blue. Overall, I didn't think the match was that bad. But I did give it a 2.5 star, and here is why. Sky Blue was really good, but oh my god, when she did that enziguri off the apron to Tony Storm on the rope, I thought she was going to smash her head on the ground. It was really scary. And then some of the stuff she did in the corner was a little sloppy too. But, she's like 23 or 24. So, I'm going to give it leeway. I'm not going to give it 1 star. It was just, it was half and half. I mean, the story and the match wasn't that bad, but just some of the moves were a little bit sloppy from her. I mean, I'm sure she'll improve on it. It wasn't terrible, though. So, yeah, in the end, Tony Storm picked up the victory. I mean, I will say there was a lot of near falls from Sky Blue and stuff like that, but in the end, Tony Storm picked up the win. Alright, so next we have somebody interviewing Stu Grayson backstage after he hurt himself. It sounded like he was describing that he tore his bicep or something. Next thing you know, the Blackpool Combat Club is there, and they beat the shit out of everyone that's back there. They got Stu Grayson, but the rest of the Dark Order wasn't there. So they hit like a doctor or something, I believe, to make it next. So, yeah. And then finally, here we go with this crazy part. And I'm going to apologize. I'm not exactly sure what this guy's name is. El Hijo del Vecchio or whatever versus Kenny Omega. I mean, I apologize if I'm saying his name wrong. But anyways, they had a match a few years ago. He's like one of the most respected wrestlers in Japan. Holy shit. This was one of the best wrestling matches I've ever seen. I've seen stuff that I've never seen before in my whole life. Like one of the first moves was Del Vecchio. He did like a reverse 630 off the top rope onto Omega in like the first few minutes. It was crazy. It was really physical. There was one part where El Kio was on the top rope, Kenny was on the apron. He did a freaking enziguri to Kenny Omega off the top from the apron onto the floor. It was really insane. Later on, there was a table spot where um he ran. Alkio ran, jumped off the second rope, and did a flip over it through the table to a 630 on Omega. It was absolutely insane. I'd never seen that. I didn't even know you could do it. Early on in the match, Omega was laying on the ground, and Alkio did a shooting star press off the apron. It looked like Kenny really hurt himself, like he really hurt his ribs and that. Um, and then we make it to the end of the match where it looked like they were going for a Canadian Destroyer or an Enziguri or something. Kenny Omega landed straight on his freaking forehead. It was crazy. That easily could have broke his neck. Then we finally make it to the end of the match where El Kingo is going for a 630 off the top rope once more. Kenny moves. El Kingo landed really freaking hard. Then Omega got him up on the shoulders for the two-winged angel or whatever. And finally, that was it for the match. They both laid on the ground in a shitload of pain after. I rated this match a 4.8. I didn't want to rate it 5 just because I didn't want to really be corny. I don't want to rate every match 5. But overall, I thought this match was just insane. But after the match, Omega's getting up. Harley got up. And the Blackpool Combat Club, Moxley comes down, and they all just beat the living hell out of Kenny Omega after he just had a really crazy match. Suddenly, you hear the ambulance coming. I thought, really, Matt and Nick Jackson, of course. But it ended up being Hangman Adam Page. He came down with a baseball bat. Of course, Blackpool Combat Club all ran out of the ring to get away. It was really crazy because Omega was on the ground and Don Callis was in the ring, Kenny's manager or whatever. And that scumbag, Don Callis, he purposely fell on the ground to make Omega think that Hangman pushed him. After that, he got in his face and stuff like that. They kind of just had to stare down. Omega's like, what the hell are you doing? And he and Don Callis left the ring. It was definitely really cool. It's going to be really cool next week. It looks like Omega and Page might be having a match again. Overall, I thought this episode of Dynamite was excellent. I enjoyed all the matches. Most of them were good quality, even the promos and stuff. Overall, I thought it was a really good show. So, yeah, guys, comment down below what you thought of the show. What were some of your favorites? What's something you think should have happened? And just stuff like that. So yeah, if you haven't checked out the Monday Night Raw one, go ahead and check that out. I'm going to be trying to do these videos weekly now. But yeah, guys, that's going to be it for this video. So as always, if you like the video, hit that thumbs up button. And if you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing to the channel.